She criticizes Hillary Clinton's book, Hard Choices, where Clinton was holding up her actions in Honduras as an example of a clear-eyed pragmatism. I mean, that book is effectively a confession. Every other country in the world or in Latin America was demanding the restitution of democracy and the return of Manuel Zelaya. It was Clinton who basically relegated that to a secondary concern and insisted on elections, which had the effect of legitimizing and routinizing the coup regime and creating the nightmare scenario that exists today. I mean, and it's also in her emails. The real scandal about the emails isn't the question about process. You know, she wanted to create an off-the-books communication thing that couldn't be FOIA'd. The real scandal about those emails are the content of the emails. She talks the process by which she works to delegitimize Zelaya and legitimate the elections, which Caceres in that interview talks about what taken place under extreme militarized conditions, fraudulent, fig leaf of democracy, are all in the emails.
And particularly, what does she say in them?
Well, she talks about trying to work towards a movement towards legitimating, getting other countries, pressuring other countries to accept the results of the election and give up the demand that Zelaya be returned and basically stop calling it a coup.
Let's go to March 2010. This is Secretary of State Hillary Clinton traveling to meet with the Honduran president, Porfirio Pepe Lobo, whose election was boycotted by opponents of the coup that overthrew Zelaya. She urged Latin American countries to normalize ties with the coup government.
We think that Honduras has taken important and necessary steps that deserve the recognition and the normalization of relations. I have just sent a letter to the Congress of the United States notifying them that we will be restoring aid to Honduras. Other countries in the region say that they want to wait a while. I don't know what they're waiting for, but that's their right to wait.
That was Secretary of State Hillary Clinton endorsing the coup. What is the trajectory of what happened then to the horror of this past week, the assassination of Berta Cáceres?
Well, that's just one horror. I mean, hundreds of peasant activists and indigenous activists have been killed. Scores of gay rights activists have been killed. I mean, it's just a nightmare in Honduras. I mean, there's ways in which the coup regime basically threw up Honduras to transnational pillage. And Berta Cáceres in that interview says what was installed after the coup was something like a permanent counterinsurgency on behalf of transnational capital. And that wouldn't have been possible if it were not for Hillary Clinton's normalization of that election.
Greg Grandin, we're going to have to leave it there. Greg Grandin, professor of Latin American history at New York University's most recent book.